Welcome, Marcus Wallaby here. Today I'm reading killer articles so you don't have to from one of the best websites in the world, wakingtimes.com. 9 key components of the shift towards higher consciousness by Dylan Charles, the editor. Facing considerable political, economic, social, and ecological crisis, the human race is desperate for a transformation and a new direction. Business as usual ensures that we are doomed to run a course of half-conscious self-destruction as man-made catastrophes multiply and stress mounts in every aspect of life. We must overthrow our ignorance, as it has become a fearful master, goading us into war, pollution, waste, and exploitation. The social problems and entrenched patterns at the source of global issues are too vast and complex to be solved at the personal level, yet paradoxically, the personal transformation of the individual offers a lonesome opportunity to avert the catastrophes we are engineering for ourselves. Human consciousness has a critical role to play in our collective destiny, and there is a seismic shift occurring here that is creating a rising class of conscious people better equipped than ever to deal with such a chaotic environment. It's interesting. He says social problems and entrenched patterns at the source of global issues are too vast and complex to be solved at the personal level, yet personal transformation is required. So, what do you think that means? I take it that it means in mass, individuals must go through personal transformation. And in so doing, then we can effect dramatic change and reverse the course we are headed. And it's already starting to happen, for sure, and that's what this article is about. The shift, it is the dramatic reordering of one's psyche, producing changes that greatly benefit the body, mind, and spirit. It is marked by considerable expansion of awareness of the inner spaces of mind and heart, and of the interdependent nature of all things. It is a reconstruction of one's life and purpose, rebuilt on a foundation of truth, peace, strength, and flexibility, and it is brought about by laborious and sufferable process of reflection and self-realization. The end result of the shift is the experience of a new world-centric perspective on life, the reclamation of mental and physical health, and the discovery of the strength, courage, and fearlessness needed to wade through these interesting times. Personal evolution is both the great duty and the great joy of all human beings, and is a process of divine significance, frequently unfolding in overlapping stages and related developments. Here are 9 key components of the shift commonly experienced by evolving people, not necessarily occurring in any particular order, except I'd think for number 1. 1 is contemporary consciousness, 2, disturbance in the force, 3, an introspective quest for knowledge and truth, 4, the dark night of the soul, 5, discovery of real medicine, 6, purification and detox, 7, rethinking the authority, dependence, and liberty, 8, letting go of and discarding that which does not serve, and 9, initiation into mystery. 1 is the way things are. The mass consciousness of production, consumption, submission, and nihilism is where the shift begins. This is the consensus trance that we've all been programmed to accept as, quote, real life, while obediently serving our worst interests without examination or question. Contemporary consciousness is acquiescence to insanity for the sake of convenience. Breaking through contemporary consciousness is to strike the very root of our global dilemma. Numb, drugged, and senseless, this level of consciousness is a psychic plague blotting out our potential. A disturbance in the force. Like a canary in the proverbial coal mine, a warning appears from somewhere, grabbing our attention, rattling our confidence, pulling us out of our tunnel vision. Some small piece of information gathered from the alternative press or from a documentary film eats at our understanding of how the world is set up, and the shift begins. This sets the stage for a deep and serious personal crisis to erupt, and often engages a ferocious drive for knowledge and truth. I think the personal crisis often is cognitive dissonance, where what you believe and what you're starting to believe are so different. You're just not sure how to deal with it. 3. An introspective quest for knowledge and truth. Knowledge and information are the fuel for personal transformation. Once awakened, our natural draw towards truth and justice calls us to consider new ideas and outside perspectives as we search for a new bearing in a crumbling understanding of the world. Introspection reveals answers to never before asked questions, and the accompanying interest in alternative information and ideas provokes answers that profoundly contradict contemporary consciousness. Once this quest is initiated, the world never again looks the same. In other words, you don't put that toothpaste back in the tube. 4. The dark night of the soul. The disturbance begins to conflict with contemporary consciousness so severely that the amount of cognitive dissonance required to adhere to the status quo life manifests materially as serious personal, mental, and even possibly physical health crisis. The foundation for this catastrophic and catalyzing series of events has been under construction for most of life up to this point, and as such, the mind, body, and spirit can be forced to endure unimaginable lows as the entire sum and meaning of one's existence is smashed and broken to pieces under the weight of one's denial about their complicity in their own self-destruction. This is the ultimate test. To pass it, one must endure the pain to the ultimate degree and simply not give up. For many, the dark night of the soul lasts for years, marking the most serious, frightening, and life-changing phase of life. It doesn't have to last for years, folks. Succumbing to the suffering here means giving in to total annihilation and choosing the path of serious self-deceit, total submission to ego and to false authority, addiction, reckless endangerment of the self, suicide, overdose, etc. Discovery of real medicine. Something helps us through this crisis by easing the pain of our suffering, gently rebuilding positive energy and providing sufficient distraction while the body and spirit begin to reclaim health. Medicine here is not pharmaceutical but therapeutical and can come in the form of an artistic endeavor or exercise, or better yet, an intense study of an esoteric healing physical art like Qigong, yoga, Kung Fu, meditation, and so on. Medicine may also be found amongst healers, therapists, shaman, or even plant medicines like ayahuasca and iboga. Finding the activity or experience that nudges you from the brink of destruction and towards healing is a critical component of the shift. Purification and detox. Along the quest for knowledge, we discover the toxic nature of our processed and sedentary lifestyle and realize the need for detox and purification. Learning about fluoride, heavy metals, GMOs, and the poisons in our food reveals the link between our emotional state, stress levels, well-being, and conscious awareness. A new relationship with food is developed, and taking care of the body and health gradually becomes easier. Our toxic environment also includes our social atmosphere, and here we are compelled to tune out of mainstream media, conversation, and, quote, logic, purging ourselves of the garbage that so many people consider important. Our consumption of mainline ideas is reduced and our mind regains a footing of independence in a sea of sensationalized conformity. In other words, we tend to turn off the TV. Rethinking of authority, dependence, and liberty. As the detox pushes older versions of the self out of the way, rejuvenating the psyche, a new picture of the self emerges in a world that no longer looks anything like it did before. The designs of control and manipulation governing our social institutions and traditions are rightfully exposed as farcical constructs that deter our evolution, while modern politics and government are understood to be laughable traps of dependence and deceit, and therefore no longer beneficial to positive growth. The people that invest their lives and identity in these schemes seem desperate and needy of purpose, fanatical and outrageously too certain and too serious about life. Nonconformity and noncompliance become moral obligations, and liberty is revalued to include freedom from living in the fear-based consciousness offered as the default way of life. Ordinary people seem strange now in how they self-organize into ridiculous pecking orders, squabbling for position at work, and submitting to any authority figure with a badge and cheap uniform. It becomes clear that freedom has less to do with laws and more to do with voluntary submission, and liberty becomes a constant struggle to decrease dependence on the systems that complicate life. Letting go of and discarding that which does not serve. In order to move through the process of transformation, it is absolutely necessary to jettison the things, people, relationships, habits, and ideas which no longer serve and support us. Human beings energetically interact with the objects and people in our environment, and eliminating and purging sources of stagnant energy and negativity creates space for new experience and inspiration to enter and flow into life. This is one of the most renewing components in this transformation. Initiation into mystery. Material science and mainstream thought exclude forms of mystery and paranormal activity from consideration in our culture, therefore making it an initiation into the world of the unexplainable a common feature of the shift. For some reason, as a person changes in this fashion, strange and fascinating events occur that chip away at the certainties that support consensus material reality. Synchronicities emerge, and moments of clarity give greater meaning to the mundane. Awareness of the subtle life force energy, chi or prana, develops, and ancient modalities of thought and concentration elicit strangely powerful revelations. Once the veil of the rigid scientific mindset is pierced, intuition and curiosity flourish, and one reassesses the potential in all things and in all circumstances, abandoning certainty in favor of wonder. Life becomes as sacred as it should be. Seems like that should be as sacred as it should be. Conclusion. The shift is nothing short of total personal revolution and signals the reorganization of the mind and psyche for the benefit of the individual and the collective. It is about remembering who we are and overcoming the momentous inertia of the self-destructive programming in our modern world. Coming to extraordinary consciousness and awareness from the depths of the contemporary trance that sickens so many people is a process compelled by both natural forces and personal will, and it's part of our unique journey towards individuation, freedom, and happiness in this amazing world at this incredible time. If you have anything of value to add to this list, please do so in the comment section below. And you can take that for, take it as you want it. You can go to the website. The link is in the description. And if you want to put it in the your ideas in the comment section of this video, please feel free. About the author, Dylan Charles is a student and teacher of Shaolin Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Qigong, a practitioner of yoga and Taoist esoteric arts, and an activist and idealist passionately engaged in the struggle for a more sustainable and just world for future generations. He is the editor of WakingTimes.com, the proprietor of OffGridOutpost.com, a grateful father, and a man who seeks to enlighten others with the power of inspiring information and action. His remarkable journey of self-transformation is a testament to the power of the will and the persistence of the human spirit. He may be contacted at wakingtimes@gmail.com. Till next time, this is Marcus Wallaby.